Hello, darlings. It's good to see you all again, and thanks for joining me for today's video, where I want to talk to you about how you can stealth camp in your van. Now, to be honest with you, I prefer to stealth camp in my van because it's free. Logical, isn't it? However, occasionally I will stay at a caravan park or a campground, but most of the time I prefer to stealth camp in my van because if I was to stay at a caravan park and pay for parking all the time, I'm not going to have enough money to live on. So that's why I prefer to stealth camp most of the time. Now, I have heard of stories from other van lifers who have either gotten a knock or a fine for stealth camping. However, that hasn't been my experience so far. And let's hope it stays that way. And I think that's because of the stealth van rules that I follow. And that's what I want to talk to you today is about those stealth camping rules that I think you should follow too. And I think if you follow those stealth camping rules, you will be fine as well. So, rule number 1 is to always arrive late in the evening and leave early in the morning. So, wherever you decide to park for the evening, arrive after dark, like about 9 or 10 in the evening, and then leave in the morning like about 5 or 6, something like that. And that's what I do. Okay, so rule number 2. Make your van look like a stealth camping van, meaning a plain white van. Or have a sign on the outside of your van of a company like a solar company or a plumbing company or whatever, so that your van will look like a maintenance van or a work van. And that's what you want your van to look. If you're going to be stealth camping, you want your van to look like a stealth camp. Now, if you're going to use signs on your van, I recommend you using magnetic car signs. Now, I have a couple here for my van, which you can see are of my YouTube channel. Now, those signs are of my YouTube channel, as you can see, they don't look very stealthy. So what you do, I think it's a good idea to advertise your YouTube channel on your van. This is why I got the magnetic car sign, well, van sign, same thing. Because you can take them on and off, and they're well made. They're not expensive. I think for two, to get two made, including postage and handling, was about $35, and that's quite a good price. So what you do is you get 2 sets made up, one with your YouTube channel on it. That's if you have a YouTube channel, of course. And also get another set made up of some sort of company, so that when you go stealth camping, you can put those magnetic car signs on your van to make your van look like a work van. So do that. Okay, so rule number 3 for stealth camping in your van is whatever happens, do not draw any attention to yourself. So that means be quiet, keep your curtains up, closed, and your window covers up for privacy. And just don't do anything to draw attention to yourself. Like, for example, if you're stealth camping in a car park, whatever you do not put a chair outside your van or open up the awning. It's a big no-no. So rule number 3 is whatever you do not try any addition to yourself. Oh my God, that's so funny. I've never seen anyone do that, but I have heard of people doing. So whatever you do when you're South camping, don't do that. It's a big no-no. Okay, so rule number 4 for South camping in your van is, I forgot to mention that when you're, is that if you're in your van and you have to be quiet, so if you're watching a video or a movie on your phone, what you do is you wear the headphones, so that way you can still hear the movie that you're watching, but no one else on the outside can hear you because you don't want to be making any noises. So I don't worry about that because I'm deaf. So what I do is I always keep the volume on my phone down and I just have the subtitles on. So that's what I do. So there's another idea for you. If you're in your van, you're watching a video, and if you don't have any headphones, just turn the volume down and put the subtitles on. Okay? Rule number 4 for South camping in your van. Always keep your, I'm going around to show you. Always keep your curtains closed and your window covers up for privacy because you don't want anyone to know that you're in your van. You just want your van to look like it's just like an ordinary empty van that's sitting on the street and there's no one in there. So always make sure you have your window covers up and always keep your van locked while you're in, always keep your doors locked while you're in your van. Okay, now number 5 is for South camping in your van is to know or to have an idea where you're going to park for the evening and have a plan B just in case. So what I suggest you do is that you have a notepad or a notebook where you write down every place that you have South camped, write down the day, including the time, the name of the street with the name of the suburb, etc. Then that way you will be able to keep track of where you have parked, where you have South camped, and you will know when you can go back, when you can rotate back to that same spot. So I suggest that if you're going to say for example, park on a residential street, near, let's just say, near an apartment building, just say for example. And well, you will know when you were last there and when you can go there next time. So if you're going to go there, be parked in a spot, say like in January, say for example, you know not to go back to that same spot for at least another few more months. I would recommend about 5 to 6 months in between those spots. So therefore, you're just going to be parking. So therefore, what I suggest you do, meaning, is that you're parking in that same spot no more twice a year. And that's what I do. So if I'm parking in one spot, I know if I park there in January or February, when it comes to like the second half of the year, then I know I can go back to that same spot. But I never park in that same spot no more than twice a year. Now that brings me up to my final tip for how to South camp in your van, and that is to never park in the same spot twice. So, meaning if I park on the residential street, for example, I will park in that spot just for one night only. I will not stay in a spot for 2 nights or more. It's only one night only, and then I move on. If I'm going to stay for a few days in one spot, I'll go to a caravan park or a campground, and I suggest you do the same too, because stealth camping is really important, because you want to be able to live well and comfortably in your van, and you also want to be able to save money. And if you're going to spend money on parking all the time, it's going to take up so much money. I mean, that's why a lot of people are choosing van life, because, I mean, being in a van is a lot cheaper than paying for hotels or motels, isn't it? Or any other kind of accommodation. And that's one reason why van life is so popular, because it's such a great alternative lifestyle. And I think that the cheaper you make it, especially if you're on a tight budget, the better off you'll be. And that's where and why stealth camping comes in, and why it's so important. But, here is a but, it's also important that you don't want to get a knock or also get a fine. Because if you get a fine, it's just going to cost you more money that you don't want to pay. So what you need to do, as long as you abide by those few stealth camping rules, you should be fine. And I haven't gotten a knock yet or received a fine. Thank you, Lord, and I just hope it stays that way, and I hope it stays that way for you too. So remember, if you're going to be stealth camping in your van, whatever happens, don't draw attention to yourself. Always be quiet. Put up your window covers and keep your curtains closed. Always keep your doors locked while you're in your van. Have your van look like a stealth van on the outside, meaning a plain white van. Or invest in these magnetic car signs, which are great. They're good quality. They don't fall off your van. They don't fade. I'm really happy with these. So what you do is you just Google where can I buy magnetic car signs, and it will tell you. And you think of some sort of company that you would like. It could be a makeup company or a plumbing or solar company or whatever. It doesn't matter. No, just a common company. So you put those signs up on your van before you get to your destination. And then after you leave in the morning, then you take them down off your van. And they're great because those are great because you can take them and put them on your van, take whenever you want to or need them, because that's what makes them so convenient and so handy for stealth camping in your van. And remember to always arrive late in the evening and leave early in the morning. Oh, and I just remember there's one more thing, is that when you're stealth camping in your van, and if you're going to stealth camp on a residential street, make sure you either try and park in front of a park or a house that's being built or a house that has a big fence, or maybe even an apartment block. They're good to park outside too. But please don't park outside of anyone's houses because I don't like it. So if you see a house and it doesn't have a high fence, don't park there. Move on and find somewhere else to park. Okay, so that's my video for today. And I hope these tips are helpful for you in some way for when you are stealth camping in your van. Okay, so thanks for joining me for today's video. Now just before I go, I'm a bit exhausted today, but that's okay. Before I go, please subscribe to my channel to support me, and don't forget to give my videos a thumbs up. Now I'll see you guys in my next video. Until then, stay safe and drive carefully. Bye bye, darlings.